Hello Guardians, welcome to the channel. Here we have a crazy build for you today called the Supernova, which involves Sunshot, the exotic armor piece Shards of Galanor, and Solar 3.0 Blade Barrage. Though it's not required, I highly recommend you focus on these three stats in order of importance for this build: mobility, discipline, and intellect. You will see why later in the video, but if you want to switch around out, another good one would be resilience. First, I'm going to go over the Hunter subclass and what you need for it. So we're going to be using Blade Barrage for this build, as well as Acrobat's Dodge, Proximity Explosive Knife, and Healing Grenades. The Proximity Explosive Knife isn't absolutely necessary as it does not have a wide explosion, but I do recommend at least trying it for a bit, because if you time it just right, you could get explosive multi-kills, which would support the build I'm showing you today. Other good options for the knives are Knife Trick for multi-kills and Lightweight Knife for proccing Radiant. For the aspect, we are using Knock 'em Down to take advantage of the increased projectile for Blade Barrage, and Gunpowder Gamble for the damaging grenades that's used for the flow of this build's playstyle. This build pivots around these two aspects, giving you ways to gain super energy and their grenade, especially with Sunshot multi-kills, which are used for dealing most of your damage to major enemies. Moving on to the Fragments, we're using Ember of Tempering and Ember of Empyrean specifically to synergize with Sunshot, allowing multi-kills with it to boost you and your allies' recovery and airborne effectiveness, and allowing you to extend your buffs from your healing grenades and dodge infinitely as long as you keep on killing things with Sunshot. For the third Fragment, there's a couple of good options to pick from. For one, Ember of Benevolence allows you to regain your abilities by healing your allies. Ember of Blistering is another good one, allowing you to regain your healing grenade by defeating targets with Gunpowder Gamble. There's also Ember of Solace, which increases the length of Radiant and Restoration effects, giving you a larger safety net for starting a chain of them. Lastly, there's Ember of Wander, which allows multi-kills with Gunpowder Gamble to generate orbs of power to regain super energy. All four are good options depending on how you want to specialize this build. Moving on to the mods the build uses, we're going to be using Elemental Wells for the bread and butter of the build. Now on the gauntlets, we have Explosive Wellmaker, which spawns Elemental Wells on explosive multi-kills. This plays directly into the strengths of Sunshot and Gunpowder Gamble, allowing them to generate wells with ease, which, as we'll see later, feeds directly back into them. We also have Impact Induction, which regens grenades for melee. It's not absolutely required, but feeds into the build as well. The Shards of Galanor themselves also help too, because of the fact that with it, kills with Blade Barrage partially refund the super after it's over, allowing you to get it faster with the orbs of power you'll be getting from this build. Speaking of orbs of power, let's move to the helmet, where we have 2 copies of Harmonic Siphon, allowing multi-kills with our Sunshot, which is very good at getting them to generate orbs that feed back into the super. We also have Well of Ordnance on the helmet, which lets the elemental wells generated from our multi-kills generate grenade energy to fill up our healing grenades, giving us a reliable source of dishing out healing. Moving on to the chest, we're using 2 stacks of whatever dual element resist mod exists in the current season, which helps buff the tankiness of the build, and we're also using Seeking Wells so that elemental wells get drawn towards you when you spawn them, making it easier as you don't have to run over and pick them up yourself. On the legs, we're using Well of Life to grant healing from wells, and we're also using Absolution and Recuperation to allow orbs to heal us and generate our abilities. This helps multi-kills feed further into the build, giving us healing and ability energy. Last but not least, on the cloak, we have another copy of Well of Ordnance if you're watching this video in Season 17, in other words, Season of the Haunted. You can also add the Classy Restoration Season mod to allow you to chain both Radiant and Restoration off your dodge instead of just Radiant. Alright, that's about it for this build. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll end off with some gameplay footage of the build in action so you could see how it plays in game. If you liked the video, please click the like and subscribe button. It would greatly support the channel and I appreciate it. Until next time.